I'm 29-year-old male, my wife 30 female, and I have a 4-year-old son. As Halloween approached this year, my son let me know that he wanted to dress up as characters from his favorite show at the moment. These aren't costumes that are readily available to buy, so I was going to have to do some crafting magic and make them. I'm a stay-at-home father and my wife is something of a workaholic. She could cut down on her hours if she wished, but she's always been a very good driven/focused person. She's not very maternal. Because of this, my son has never been very attached to her. They have time together at dinner, but even during times when my wife is off work, like during bath time and bedtime, it's always just me. This isn't me complaining. I signed on for the stay-at-home dad life and I enjoy every minute of it. I just wish, for his sake, that she would be more involved. About a month before Halloween, my son asked if my best friend, 35 male, could dress up with us. He had already assigned himself and me a specific character, and I had started work on the costumes. So I figured it wouldn't be a big deal to add one more. He adores my best friend. They have such a sweet bond and have since my son was born. I asked best friend if he wanted to join us trick or treat, and he immediately agreed. During dinner the night following this, I asked him what character he wanted his mom to be. My son said he only wanted to go trick or treating with daddy and my best friend. Over the course of the next months, I would casually bring it up again to my son, and he continually gave the same answer. My wife was clearly hurt, but would always brush it off. Fast forward to Halloween night, I had spent weeks working on these little costumes for all of us. As we were getting ready, my wife and I got into a big argument over the fact that she did not have a costume. I pointed out that if she had wanted me to make her one, she could have requested I do so, or she could have gotten one for herself. She said it was ridiculous that the three of us were doing a matching theme and leaving her out of it, and that she wasn't even going. In the end, best friend and I took him trick-or-treating alone, and my wife still isn't speaking to me because she can't believe I actually went without her. Am I in a wrong here? And now for some comments. I have to go with you're in a wrong. I'm halfway waiting for the update where you turn the guest room into an art studio for the best friend without discussing it with your wife. You are in a wrong. You do not let a 4-year-old decide who is included in family activities. You are the adult in charge, and you should have made sure to include your wife with a costume that matched. Your entire boast comes across as judgmental and whiny. You seem to want to prove that you're the better parent. What's that about? If you're unhappy, talk to your wife. Don't use your son to punish her. Do better by your wife and your son. Everybody sucks. She's acting ridiculous because you were planning this openly and she never picked a character herself in the conversations. Nor did she get her own costume or even walk along to enjoy watching. And you're acting like her working a lot means that she doesn't deserve to be consciously included in activities when she's able to be with the family, and that probably feels pretty awful. You don't need to allow your 4-year-old the authority to ostracize his mom on your behalf. If you just made her a costume, I'll bet he would have been over the moon once he saw her in it and matching his theme. I went into my local thrift and immediately found a piece of furniture I wanted. In the past, I've been through the furniture section and seen receipts attached to items saying that they have been sold already and are no longer available. That was not the case with this table. Stoked, I asked an employee to help me move it to the register so I can pay for it. A nice dude helps me out by putting it on a dolly and rolling it up front for me. I pay for it and he starts pushing the dolly out to my car. Lady comes out of the store behind us and she is pissed. She comes up with a temper, yelling that it's her table that we were wheeling out to my car. Confused because there was no sold tag on this thing. I asked her if she also paid for it and she says no, but I told the manager I wanted it and she set it aside for me. I feel awkward at first and just kinda freeze there for a minute while she goes back in to get the manager. I considered going in and refunding it and giving it back. I did think about it. I actively decided that since I paid for it, I had essentially called dibs, and that the store manager should have had the woman pay for the item and put a receipt on the item as they have done in the past. So I look at the dude helping me lug this thing out to my car, and he looks stunned and clearly is going to wait to see what happens. I decided not to wait. I tell him I'm not going to make him be any more involved, and I just pick up my furniture and start walking to my car. As soon as I'm finished loading it into my car, the manager comes out with a woman. And the manager asks me expectantly if I'm going to give the furniture back to the lady. I ask the manager if the lady paid for it, and she says no, but we did put it on hold for her. I told her there was no signage indicating it was sold. It wasn't moved off the floor, and no one stopped me when I asked for help moving it and checked out. The manager then tells me that if I don't go back in and return the table, that I'm banned from the thrift store and to never come back. So I told her I'm sorry that her staff had made a mistake, but that I had no intention of returning the item I paid for, got in my car, and noped out. I clearly upset this lady by not refunding and giving back this table. I feel bad that she was upset, but I did it anyway. I know I didn't commit a crime by taking a table I paid for, but am I in the wrong here? Should I have just given it to her? And now for some comments. You're not in the wrong. This is how thrifting works. They are lucky that they have a policy of setting stuff aside or leaving a note on it. When I go to any type of quick sales process, I always steal a staffer and pay upfront. Loitering and waiting with holds leads to situations like this. Also, the manager knew she made a mistake, and instead of owning up to it and maybe giving the lady a 10% discount for this oversight, she threatened you with a ban? What a bad way to do business. Not in the wrong. Her appearance was merely made as you were leaving. What if you went through with getting the table, left the premises, and she came by? Then what? And having something saved but not marked should be on the staff, absolutely nothing on customers. Not in the wrong. The store screwed over the other lady, not you. Hello, I'm a 22 male taxi driver. I picked up a dude around 2 a.m. who was under the influence of something. At the beginning of the ride, before he even entered the vehicle, I asked him to throw the cigarette out and he argued with me, but he threw it upon entry. In the middle of the ride, he sparks up another one and I stopped the vehicle, asked him politely to throw it out or to leave the vehicle, on which he started swearing and insulting me. I again politely asked him to stop yelling at me and to leave the vehicle or throw the cigarette so we could continue the ride, and he refused. I told him that I will call the cops if he doesn't do one of the things I asked him, and he started yelling at me again, threatened to fire me from the company. He's a good friend of my jerk boss and also a regular passenger. After which I just pressed the SOS button. The police arrived, removed him from the car and arrested him. My boss said that I was a jerk because I didn't call him to resolve the issue and used the SOS button. So Reddit, am I the jerk for calling the cops and not the owner? And now for some comments. You're not in the wrong. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Not in the wrong. But you might have trouble with your boss regardless. Is your boss shady? It is possible the regular passenger and your boss have some mutual friends related to those drugs he got caught with. Not in the wrong. You had a legitimate fear of being in physical danger. You can't predict the behavior of someone who is inebriated and has become belligerent, and you give him ample opportunity to get it together. The fact that he didn't isn't your responsibility. Update. I just got informed that my boss's house was searched and they found more cocaine and ecstasy. So it looks like I accidentally put down a criminal organization. All of my company's property is now impounded. and I will be getting my last paycheck on Monday. Looks like the SOS button started the domino effect. Pill-making machine was found in the company's mechanic shop. Also massive amounts of weapons and ammunition. 4 rocket launchers with 70 rocks and lots of cash. Another 8 people were arrested, including 2 public prosecutors. I'm 27-year-old female. My friend, 28 female, recently got engaged. She's the first one in our group to get engaged and we are very excited. Although we are very happy for her, we've noticed something a bit odd. Her fiancé is always there. I mean, every event my friend is invited to, he's there. Girls' night out, he's there. Weekend gateway, he's there. Movie night with the gang, he's there. He is always there. We are all single, so he's the only guy in our chillings. For my birthday this year, I wanted to do a little dinner at one of my girls' condos. Movies, board games, good food. I really wanted it to be only girls since 2 of the group are religious. 1 Jewish and 1 Muslim. I will be able to remove their veil. So I specifically told my friend not to bring her fiancé as it's only girls. She told me no problem, can't wait to be with you all. Well, guess who showed up? Yep, her fiancé. We were already there at my friend's condo and when I opened the door my friend was there with her fiancé. She was about to come in when I stopped her. I told her that she shouldn't be here, that it was girls only. She told me it wasn't a big deal and he's always with us. I told her it was a big deal and she is disinvited and she and her fiancé can leave. She told me I was being ridiculous, a hypocrite, and a jerk for doing this. She left and she stopped talking to me. Some of the girls told me that it was a jerk move and I should have just let it go and let her in with her fiancé, but I do not agree. Am I in the wrong here? Edit. A lot of people are asking me if they were like this while dating. No, her fiancé rarely showed up to anything when they were dating. It all started when my friend got engaged. And now for some comments. Not in a wrong. She's either really codependent or he's super controlling. Either way, a girl's trip where everyone is comfortable outweighs whatever's going on in the relationship. You made the right decision. Not in a wrong. When you host a gathering, you set the invite list of that gathering. Women only is completely acceptable, even when women with veils aren't involved. She violated the terms so she doesn't get to come. It's that simple. I am not sure how you are being a hypocrite here unless you're bringing your partner along to events he's explicitly not invited to. You're not in the wrong. First, it's your birthday and you specifically requested girls only. That should be enough. Friends still need to make time for each other even if in a relationship. I'd never dream of taking my husband to a girls' night, nor would he want to. Second, your other friend's religious requirements far outweigh her need to have her man permanently by her side. Or is it him being controlling and needy? Get to the bottom of it if you can. But all of your friends deserve to feel comfortable and 2 of them most certainly wouldn't be able to relax as much. This is totally unfair and disrespectful of your engaged friend. It just isn't healthy to spend every minute with any person, partner or not. She will end up losing friends. People aren't gonna feel free to speak openly, etc. in front of someone else's partner.